When you buy a wireless headset, microphone, and controller, they all come with separate dongles and transceivers. What if I told you that a single dongle could connect to all of them with even lower latency? SPARK have created a new ultra-wideband transceiver that's actually won the 2026 CES Innovation Award. Unlike traditional wireless chips, this ultra-wideband chip offers sub-millisecond latency and a strong robustness against signal interference. I think it's worth a look. SPARK, you guys have created a ultra-low power, ultra-low latency, ultra-wideband transceiver. Why?
Well, it's kind of simple. Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, great technologies. Been around for more than 20 years, but they're limited. And there's new applications coming about that require next generation wireless technology to get short range connectivity to the next step, right?
So ultra-wideband transceivers, they're out there. What makes yours different?
So we're focusing on a few key capabilities that really transcend what's currently available in other wireless technologies. We have ultra low latency, so we're able to do sub-millisecond latencies for a lot of different devices like mice, keyboards, different control systems, whatever. But we also have very low power consumption doing that, and we know that wearables, devices really care about battery life these days, right? Battery life is becoming one of the key features of a lot of wearables, a lot of mobile devices. And then there's this hunger for more data rate.
Right.
We need more throughput. I need to do haptics. I need to do a sensor, a gyro, audio.
As everything becomes more connected in this world,
Yeah.
we need something to have the capability to transmit data at just higher rates.
Yeah, more and more immersive, right? You want to be directly connected to your senses, from hearing, voice, touch, everything. So that requires a lot of throughput, and that's the other focus of the technology. And finally, wireless, and it's at CES, it's a disaster when it comes to interference, right? Everybody's got routers, everybody's got Bluetooth, everybody's got Wi-Fi. So wireless is really struggling to keep those metrics of performance. Our technology is designed to be robust in very harsh electromagnetic environments where there's a lot of interference, whether it's in an industrial setting or right next to a gamer's Wi-Fi router that's blasting Wi-Fi to get them that high-speed internet gaming. But then the legacy technologies like Bluetooth, they have a hard time with interference. That's the other thing we're focusing on. How do we become robust to interference so that your experience really stays rock solid no matter what?
And so you've got some demos to show us, don't you? Should we check them out?
Absolutely. Oh yeah, I can't wait.
Let's go.
Yep.
Frederick, you have your receiver mounted here on the desk. What is that about?
Yeah, this is an anchor that is essentially receiving pings from our active tag, which you can think of as an active employee badge.
So the tag right there on your pocket.
Right there. Imagine this would be an employee badge. I'm in an office, and I want to have some kind of interaction with this anchor. It knows very precisely where I am to about this distance, and it 4 times a second sends a ping, which is pretty fast, 4 times a second, and it lasts 2 years.
2 years
right?
on what, a coin cell?
On a good old coin cell, very standard stuff, and that's unheard of, right? That kind of polling rate with wireless is just not possible.
And so if you walk away, will it show us sort of how far you are?
Exactly. So now let's say I move to the side about, half a meter.
And you can see the line on the graph goes up, etc.
Exactly. And then if I move back closer, then the graph will go back down. And of course, the goal here is not to have a graph in a real application, but have some immersive experience. How do you leverage that information that's coming 4 times a second, that's pretty accurate? What do you do with that? Now, designer's imagination, right?
Exactly.
You could have immersive experiences, you could have access control, you can have a lot of stuff with that.
Frederick, we're standing in front of 2 headsets here. Tell us what's this demo about.
Yeah, so we have a commercial state-of-the-art gaming headset, and we have our reference gaming headset. That one has our wireless transmitter.
So this has your ultra-wideband receiver.
It has our SR1120 chipset in there. And we're going to wirelessly stream audio to each of these headsets. These electronic ears will be showing you the spectrum of the audio that's making it through the headset, and of course the headset plays it back to the ears.
Right.
And the goal here is to show that when we have Wi-Fi traffic pop up, and Rebiar FAE will be toggling this Wi-Fi router, the commercial headset will basically break down, and the audio will essentially start to be choppy.
Because of the Wi-Fi interference.
Exactly, whereas our headset will be unaffected.
Right.
Right? It'll be as if there's nothing there.
Should we see it in action?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to start playing a sine wave, and the electronic ears will be, of course, showing the sine wave right here. There's no Wi-Fi interference going, so the commercial gaming headset is perfectly fine. Let's turn on the Wi-Fi router right here.
Oh, yeah.
So now, obviously, headset just can't to the point where it's completely cut off, right? And it's going to be intermittent, but obviously no gamer wants this to happen if they buy this latest and greatest router right next to their computer, right? So that's an issue. So now we're going to reset this with our reference design headset that has the SR1120 in it. So we put our headset on the electronic ears. We will start streaming the sine wave again to the electronic ears via now our technology. So you're hearing the sine wave, it's right there. So now Rabia will again toggle the Wi-Fi. Now, there's no surprise, the sine wave isn't affected, it's still playing it perfectly. And you could do this all night and it would still go. So the gamer will not notice that there's any interference out there.
Wow, it's a pretty remarkable difference, isn't it?
Well, I think it is. It's a game changer, and I do want to add a very important piece. The commercial headset is not sending uncompressed 96K 24-bit audio. It has about 10 times more latency than this headset. This headset has less than 5 milliseconds of latency.
Wow.
So you get a latency.
So all of that as well as ignoring the interference.
Exactly. So latency benefit, the audio quality benefit, and interference benefit, all at low power. This is also quite important because these are mobile devices with pretty small batteries in them.
Frederick, we're now on the couch and you've got sort of your pro gamer setup going on, and all of this is connected through one SPARK transceiver?
Yeah, exactly. We've modified this controller to have our SR1120 in it. It's doing quite a bit of stuff. It's sending the microphone data through the dongle and the laptop. I'm playing a video game on the TV here. Of course, the controller data is streaming as well. I'm hearing the game audio from this wire that's connected to the controller. And this technology shines because thanks to its throughput capabilities, it can do quite a bit at the same time, right? Audio, microphone, controller data. We even have the ability to do mice, keyboard, headset, all into one dongle, right? So really multi-purpose. So as I play this game, and I'm really good at it, the latency is really low. This is basically sub-millisecond latency like you saw before, but on top of it, it's giving me audio. And as I've been speaking, you also hear from that wired speaker over there that's streaming wirelessly what I'm saying on the mic, my voice, but it's almost instantaneous,
it's so instantaneous,
right?
that I
so it's not annoying that I've got
yeah.
this other speaker going, and that's thanks to the really low audio latency we do. But at the same time, we're playing with a controller that has better latency than any of the commercial consoles' latency. So that's pretty unique, right? And that shows you what the technology can do. And it can do many more things than that. We'd even do HD video streaming with this technology. It can do a lot of stuff. Obviously, you know, I think my gaming skills are clearly showing off the technology to the fullest, right?
Frederick, we've seen a couple demos of some great use cases of SPARK technology.
Yep.
Listen, I'm an engineer. I want to get your transceivers in my projects. Where can I find you?
Yeah, this technology can do a lot, as you can tell, right? So you could go to our website, sparkmicro.com. You could buy an EVK. We have a software development kit as well, so you can run your own projects. Tons of examples on there, get you going, and see it for yourself.
Awesome. Really good to meet you.
Awesome. Thank you, Adam.